Angus never needed to be given this order. Meals, in his view, were times for eating, not for talking. From sitting up at the table to getting down from it again, he only opened his mouth to put food in it. "What do you think we'll find, Angus?" said Kirsty. Angus stared at her, his jaws chomping rhythmically. He did not answer. "Aren't you excited?" Kirsty asked. Angus nodded placidly. "My egg's not boiled enough," said Grumble. They set out at last down the cliff path, Kirsty leading, carrying a little sack for putting things in, Mother following, holding Angus by the hand, and Grumble stumping along behind with a big sack and a length of cord to tie up bundles of driftwood. The seas were running very strongly still, and the breakers were huge, but distant now, for the spring tide had ebbed. The pebbly beach was, as always, empty of people. The only living things on it were two seagulls picking at something that lay just above the high tide mark. They flew up as Kirsty ran forward. "Come and look," she shouted. "Quick!" "What is it?" Mother shouted back. "I don't know. It looks like a giant mermaid's purse." Angus ran as fast as his short legs would allow. He looked critically at the object. The gulls could not have been at it long, for it seemed unharmed. "I didn't know there were giant mermaids," said Angus. "No dogfish could produce a thing like that," said Mother when she and Grumble arrived. "Why, it must be 20 times as big as an ordinary mermaid's purse. What do you think, Dad? Could it have come from some huge creature like a basking shark?" "Don't ask me," said Grumble. "We're here to collect firewood, so let's get on with it. This cold wind gets right in my bones." He prodded the thing with his foot. "Whatever it is, it's no use to us," he said, and he stumped on, with Mother following. "It moved," Kirsty said. "Of course it did," said Angus. "Grumble kicked it." "No, I mean after he kicked it. I saw the outside of it, the skin of it, move. I'm almost sure I did. It sort of trembled." Angus peered at the giant mermaid's purse. "It isn't trembling now," he said. "'Spect it's dead. 'Spect he killed it." He looked up at his sister and saw that she was upset at this thought. "It's only an old fish's egg," he said. "Eggs don't feel anything. Those ones that Mother boiled for breakfast, they didn't feel nothing." "They didn't feel anything," said Kirsty. Angus sighed. "I just told you that," he said. "Sometimes I feel much older than you." "Well, you're not," said Kirsty quite sharply. "You're 3 years younger. Hold my sack open for me." She bent down and picked up the thing. It was heavy, as heavy indeed as a large cookie tin full of cookies.